saying she will throw her hat in the ring for the leadership of the Labor Party to become the next Premier of Queensland. Let's bring in now the Federal Assistant Education Minister, a former State Secretary of the Labor Party in Queensland, Senator Anthony Chisholm. For those who are tuning in today and see Shannon Fentiman in that news conference, would be impressed. A very good communicator. She knew what she wanted to say, says there's a good foundation, but there needs to be renewal, and makes a compelling case up against Stephen Miles that she is a new face and not necessarily as tied to Annastacia Palaszczuk as Stephen Miles would have been through COVID, but even beyond that, Anthony Chisholm.
Thanks, Kieran. Yeah, I was listening along the same as you were, and I thought it was a strong performance by Minister Fentiman, and I think that Queenslanders can rest assured that no matter who does end up as Premier at the end of the week, that we've got two very strong contenders announced so far that are experienced, but also I think are starting to outline what their vision for what the future looks like. And I think that's the exciting thing that presents itself for the Queensland Labor Party, is that opportunity to refresh and reinvigorate yourself whilst you're still in government. And I think Shannon presented her case in a compelling way just then.
Yeah, she certainly did. And both from the left faction, my understanding is that Cameron Dick won't run, therefore the right potentially could fall in behind one or the other or split. I wouldn't expect you to go into all the factional details, but obviously Shannon Fentiman believes she's a chance, otherwise she wouldn't be running.
Yeah, I think that obviously, as Shannon said, that those conversations will be ongoing inside the party. It's never good to talk about how the sausage is made, Kieran, but I've got a lot of respect for Cameron Dick and Stephen Miles as well. I know them all really well and have known them for decades. And, you know, they've really been, I suppose, three prominent ministers at the heart of the Palaszczuk government, and they get their opportunity to put their case forward to caucus members over the next couple of days. I really think that Annastacia has been a tremendous leader of the party and of the state. And I think a lot of us were surprised when she made her announcement on Sunday, but it presents an opportunity for those three, which is fantastic.
How do you reflect on that period now? I know you're a minister, but in the former part of your career, you were the State Secretary of the Labor Party. You led that campaign that saw Labor return to office under Annastacia Palaszczuk, from the Tarago, the 7 members, to beating a first-term LNP government. How do you reflect on that and Annastacia Palaszczuk's place in Queensland political history?
Yeah, it is quite remarkable, Kieran. Like, to think that Premier Palaszczuk inherited six other colleagues inherited the leadership, and to get where she has now is just unbelievable. You just wouldn't have thought that was possible for her to achieve that in one term. And then go on to win 2 subsequent elections as well. It is quite a miraculous career, and that she deserves enormous credit for. And I think that for a lot of the time she was underestimated, and I think she revelled in that. She always maintained that she was in touch with what communities and Queenslanders were feeling, and I think that's proved true time and time again. And she's was turned into a really resilient, competent leader that was able to deliver 3 election wins. So goes down as a modern Labor hero in Queensland with an outstanding record, and I think particularly admirable for those who'll be inspired by female leaders as well. For her to go out on top without a loss, I think is significant. And I'm really happy that she feels comfortable with the decision that she made, which I could conclude from watching her yesterday. And I'm really excited that she'll be able to have, look back in the future and see that she has gone out at the top of the game, which is fantastic.
Yeah, only a couple of months, literally 2 or 3 months, I think it is, shy of Peter Beattie. So this is one of the longest serving premiers in Queensland history and the longest serving female premier in Australian history. It's always a difficult thing to extrapolate from state to federal politics, but it is a state, your home, where it's challenging federally. Does any of this feed into the federal political equation as you try to, with your colleagues, Jim Chalmers and others, try to build the Labor brand and vote in Queensland?
Well, I think obviously for state government, they have been there for almost 9 years now. So it's an opportunity for them to refresh and reinvigorate themselves and provide a new leadership team. I expect that we'll probably see obviously some new cabinet members as well, which I think will be a good opportunity for them when they've got an election in 11 months' time. I think from a federal point of view, we obviously get the opportunity to work closely with the new Premier. I'm confident that no matter who it is, we'll be able to build that good relationship. We've obviously gone through a couple of testing months on some issues, Kieran, as I'm sure you're well aware. So I think that we'll take that opportunity to work constructively with the state as you would expect us to. We know that we've got a significant challenge to rebuild our vote federally in Queensland. I'm confident that we can do that, but it will be an opportunity to work with a new Premier and a new team at the state level, which will work well with, I'm sure.
Assistant Education Minister Senator Anthony Chisholm, appreciate your time and your reflections on a big couple of days in Queensland politics.
Thanks, Kieran. Good to be with you.